What is happening, everybody? Today I have a video where I wanted to share a few free online tools that I've been using quite a lot recently that have been very helpful and have saved me time and have saved me money. The hope is that they will also save you some time and money, so let's not dally about, let's jump right in. The first is Geometrygeeks.bike, and this has to be my favorite of the ones I'm going to show you today. I have learned so much from this over the past couple of years of using it. Geometrygeeks.bike is an online bike geometry database where you can go through and find bikes and compare their geometry to each other. It's put together by a small team who manage it, but they also have built-in systems where the community can submit geometry charts for things that they want to be in there. The database is very expansive, so most of your sort of big name bicycle geometries will be in there, but even a lot of the smaller ones, I've been quite surprised to find things in there that aren't big or well known. The submission tool is surprisingly intuitive, so if you do need to add something in, then it's not very hard. Geometry Geeks is particularly useful for finding out whether a particular bike in a particular size will fit you without being able to ride it. That is something that we all have to deal with. We often just buy bikes based on sort of what we see online or in a shop. For this, you can find the bike that you currently have, find the bike you're looking at buying, and just compare them to each other. Check out the reach, check out the stack. Those are sort of the baseline measurements that you need to get an understanding of whether it will fit you. Beyond that, I've learned just a huge amount about bike geometry from using this over the last couple of years. Just digging around, adding bikes in, comparing them to each other, and looking over the numbers. Here's a good example where you can line up some of the big name, sort of all-round aero optimized race bikes that have come out recently. And once they're in there, you have a look over and you can see just what are the things that set them apart. What are the angles and lengths that make them what they are? They do have their own sort of character and personality to them, but they also exist within an interesting range, which is useful for people to know. What is it that makes a race bike? This is how you can find out. It's particularly useful for gravel as well, because there is so much variation within that category. There are some paywalled features where you get to search by numbers, chuck in a reach and a stack value or whatever you want, and it'll come back to you with a few options. But generally, the database is mostly free and it is mostly fantastic. So big thanks to the team who run Geometrygeeks.bike. The second site comes from the land down under, and it is called Rubber Lover. And that is a database of tires with a particular focus on gravel and off-road riding. Think of it like a supercharged pink spreadsheet that you can go through and filter and sort of isolate different things on. In short, it can help you get a look across what options are available in the size that you're looking at buying. So if you're after something between 40 and 45 millimeters and 700C, you can quickly sort of narrow down to see what there is available. It doesn't have everything, there are a few gaps, but it's a fairly new site and it's growing quickly. And that's all there is to it, really. It's a simple system, it's free, it works well, and it could save you a bit of time scouring every bicycle tire brand on the internet. Great job to Jason, who does make the site happen. Get on over there, show it some love, show it some use, and tell your friends. The third tool is actually from a big brand, and it is the SRAM AXS Tire Pressure Guide. And this has been very handy recently because of how many wheels and tires I have been testing. It's a fairly simple tool where you punch in your physical weight, your bike weight, and then run through the wheel and tire specs for what you're using. It'll crunch all those numbers together and spit out a recommended tire pressure for you. It is a very handy starting point for people who are maybe changing out wheels and tires and just need to know where they should be going, especially if they've gone really big or really small compared to what they had before. A good example for me was I recently had to set up the Pirelli Cinturato Gravel H tires on a set of 650B wheels that were quite wide, and I didn't really know exactly where to start. I crunched the numbers and it spat out about 32. I started riding with that particular pressure and it's felt pretty good so far. I will adjust it a little bit according to personal taste, but yeah, it's done pretty well. I do like how it accounts for variances like hooked versus hookless, different casings, ride styles, internal widths, and dry or wet conditions. So it is quite exhaustive. It is just a guide that will put you in the right ballpark. So if you do have a particularly strong personal preference with your tire pressures, just start with what it tells you and then adjust according to what you feel is right for you. So thank you very much, SRAM, for this helpful tool. The fourth and final tool is one that I've shown on this channel a couple of times before. It is called Watt Bars. This has become particularly handy nowadays with the humongous explosion in gravel handlebar sort of options and different sizes. Watt Bars is a very useful visualization tool so you can see all of the different nuances in the gravel bars you're looking at. Again, it's a nice simple system where you scroll through a list and pick from the ever expanding list of options. It'll then sort of show them on a grid and you can overlay them on top of each other and see exactly how they are similar or different. Gravel bar shaping has gone completely wild recently with flares and drops and angles and all kinds of crazy widths starting to come into the market, so this can be very useful to see exactly what it is that makes them different. In the past with road handlebars, you just looked at the width, the reach, maybe the drop, and were like, yeah, that'll probably do fine, but you can't really do that with gravel bars. It's just so much more complicated now. So get on over to wattbars.com and have a bit of a play. And that is where I'm gonna leave it. Just a quick video showing all of these tools that have made my life easier. They are all linked in the description below. Get the word out about these things because they do help people, especially the ones that are run by sort of small groups and individuals, because they're putting a lot of time and effort into these things that help us. So spread the love, spread the word, and let's get more people using them so hopefully they can make some money out of them because they deserve it. Thank you so much for watching me. Ride safe, stay healthy as always, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.